On everyone. So the Golden State Warriors have looked absolutely terrible this year. Maybe it's part of the, championship hangover and they're just off to a rough start. Maybe part of it is, the Draymond Green, Jordan Poole situation. Whatever it is, it's not looking good for the Warriors. They just don't seem to have it this year. Their bench scoring has been awful. The young guys aren't playing and performing the way that they had hoped. Steph Curry is putting on absolute heroics, having one of the best seasons of his career, and it's not translating to anything, which really sucks for him and the Warriors. But the Warriors really need to start looking at making moves, especially if they want to get back into contention and get back into being one of the top teams. And they have a lot of good young talent that just doesn't really fit the Warriors, but I do believe many teams would be very interested in trying to acquire. And one of the pieces that has been reported to kind of be on the market, the Warriors are kind of gauging to see what happens, is James Wiseman. And James Wiseman is kind of the odd man out right now. He just doesn't look comfortable out there. He looks a little awkward. It made a ton of sense when the Warriors drafted him, right? The one thing the Warriors have never really had is like a center, like a true center, like true size, right? They had like Andrew Bogut and stuff like that, but they haven't had like a dominant big man in quite some time. And James Wiseman was this player that could be that. And I still think, even with all the struggles and just the clunkiness that he seems to be having with the Golden State Warriors, I do believe that he is a young talent and a player that has the skill set to be a very good center in this league. I just think he's on the wrong team for what he needs, right? And the Warriors need a very specific type of center. I could see James Wiseman going to a proper team and just completely turning it around and being an absolute monster. And it might be good for not only the Warriors, but it might be good for James Wiseman in his career going forward. He just doesn't really fit. And they could get back some nice pieces for James Wiseman, maybe get a more veteran presence, somebody that could come in and be a big man that they need, right? Because you would imagine that they'd want to have some sort of big man to kind of help compete and just the games, right? Like to have somebody, a big body down low, they can count on, dump the ball to, get easy buckets, have some size to go up against some of these bigger teams, because it's always been one of the big holes, like the size. And one of the players that is, I think, very obtainable, and that a team that would be more than happy to take on James Wiseman is a rebuilding team in the San Antonio Spurs. And in return, maybe they could work out a deal to get like a Jakob, right? You're talking about a legit, 15-9 guy, a guy who is a great passer, comes from Pop and the Spurs system, so he'll fit in beautifully into the Warriors system. He is actually a great fit for the type of team the Warriors have. He's not really a great shooter, but that's what the Warriors are, a team full of just great shooters, like historically great shooters, right? So it would be nice for the Warriors to have that low post threat, especially for the nights that like the shots just aren't falling, right? They're having a rough shooting night. You can just dump the ball down to Yaka and he could go get you an easy bucket, go get you an easy two, get the rebound. He's a big body, can guard, other big bodies, especially in the Western Conference. Like, he's a guy you can throw on the Joker, make it difficult for him. He's not the greatest defender for the center position ever, but he's serviceable enough. He's solid enough. Free throw shooting is a bit of a concern, bit of an issue, and just shooting in general. But, again, Warriors are so good offensively and so good shooting the ball and free throws and all that stuff. I don't think it'll be a problem at all. I think he could fit seamlessly in. And if you need to, worst case, you bring him off the bench and let him run the bench unit. And, maybe he could be a 15-point guy off the bench and really kind of bolster the bench unit. Maybe you could even give up some of your younger guys to maybe get some of the Spurs vets. Maybe work out a deal to get like a Jakob and like a Josh Richardson. Like that could be really solid. Maybe give up like a Wiseman, a Kuminga, some of your younger guys that the Spurs would be interested in, because they're, one, trying to tank, two, trying to rebuild, and Warriors have guys that are right up their alley. The Warriors are in the opposite position, right? They're coming off of a championship. They probably have like another 2-3 year window before like guys start really declining and they really have to kind of start making some tough decisions. So why not go all in? Unload some of these younger guys. Go get, some solid vets that can come in and really give you a contribution. Good thing is Jakob isn't making much money, and neither is Josh Richardson. Combined, they're making like roughly like 19-20 million. So you can easily kind of figure out a way to kind of package a couple players together and go get these guys. Josh Richardson would be great on the Warriors, a 3-and-D guy. He's been great playing off the bench currently, and has put up like 30-point games for them, all kinds of stuff. Like, you could use some of his scoring production off the bench, or even move other guys off the bench to kind of help, because their bench, they definitely need some bench depth, and maybe you could make an argument that they're better off going and making a move for that bench depth rather than, maybe guys in the starting unit. But if you could get some like better, get some solid fitting, like if you could get Jakob Poeltl and Josh Richardson, well, then now you have that starting caliber center that kind of rounds out the starting unit, right? And then on top of that, you got, your the guys that you're operating on center right now, they get to go to the bench and be that backup, and then you have a guy like Josh Richardson come in and be another serviceable, just scorer, defensive option that, again, coming from the Spurs system, he's going to fit in very seamlessly with the Warriors. I think if this is something that the Warriors kind of figure out and work out, I think if you're the Warriors, you do it. I think Yaka gives you gives you the center that you need right now, and for the Spurs position, they're looking at it as like, yeah, like, why not, right? Like, give us this young up and coming center. We'll try to figure it out. Give us a Kuminga. Let's figure it out, and then maybe the Spurs throw in some incentives or something. You can make it work, is my point. And I just think, you have this like center swap, essentially, this package that's centered around the centers of the two teams. And I think that you could put together like a realistic deal that just really benefits both sides. Wiseman gets to come in. He gets to play under Pop. He gets to develop under the Spurs brand. He gets to be the next great big man, hopefully, name up in the rafters like, a Tim Duncan or a David Robinson, guys like that. It'd be nice to maybe get the next big man that they could use and operate with. And then still be in a position to go get, maybe you end up stumbling into like a Victor Wembanyama. Imagine a front court of Victor Wembanyama and James Wiseman. It'd be insane, right? Like that's probably one of the best, if not the best, front courts in the league in the next like 3 to 5 years. Like, that could be very solid. Or even if you don't, even if you just end up, like, let's say you get Scoot Henderson. You got James Wiseman, Scoot Henderson, plus the young guys they got right now that are just balling out for the Spurs. The Spurs could be in a very good position going forward. And I just think if you could flip your vets into quality young talent, why wouldn't you want to do it? And the Warriors, again, they're on the complete opposite side of the spectrum. You try to do this youth experiment. You won a championship with these guys, which is nice, so they got some experience. But in reality, they're not enough. You lost some key bench guys, that really could have came in and helped. And you got to try to find those replacements. You got to try to find those guys. And the only way to really do that is to move off these young guys. And you need to maximize that window you have right now. You probably got good 2, maybe 3 years. If you're lucky, maybe 4 years of just like real contention with Steph, Clay, Draymond, those guys. Draymond's probably on his way out at some point, I'd imagine. You'd still have Jordan Poole, guys like that. Like, Jordan Poole's the one guy you kind of want to keep. But Warriors are going to have to start making some tough decisions sooner or later. And I just think now move off of the young guys, especially the guys that aren't really working, that aren't really fitting, and get some guys that can come in that you can keep. Like, Jakob Poeltl's probably not going to cost a fortune if you wanted to re-sign him. If it doesn't work out, you just let him go. It's an expiring deal. Saves you some money, especially with all the luxury tax and stuff that they're paying. Granted, you don't want to just give Wiseman away for free, but Josh Richardson and Jakob Poeltl are both, free agents. The Warriors clearly don't care about spending, right? So if you need to, you re-sign the two guys. You got the bird rights. You go over the cap. Boom, all is good. And you got at least, worst case, now you got a legit 7 to 8 guy rotation, like legit 7 to 8 guy rotation. So I think if this deal was a deal on the table, I'd be a little surprised if the Warriors didn't take it, because I think that this is a real opportunity to kind of turn things around and change things up a little bit for them. I think you just get the talent that you need, the veteran presences that you need to kind of really to kind of get back into the standings, because they are just so far behind right now, so far behind. And I mean, how funny would it be if the Warriors pull a Tim Duncan, where a couple players go down all of a sudden. They get the number one pick, end up getting Victor Wembanyama, and now the Warriors have Victor Wembanyama to add to this team for the next 10 years. I probably shouldn't even put that into existence. But nonetheless, I mean, look, you get Jakob Poeltl, you get Josh Richardson. Like, you literally have, so you have those two. You have Steph, you have Clay, you have Poole, you have Draymond, right? There's 6 guys right there. Andrew Wiggins, 7. You got JaMychal Green, there's 8. You know, you got DiVincenzo, 9. Like, Kevon Looney, 10. You got, like, now you got, like, a legit 10-man rotation that you really need. Like, and you got a legit center, which has been the big problem. They haven't really been able to play Wiseman. Wiseman has not been able to work for them. And if you can get a center that works, maybe you can kind of turn this season around a little bit. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments section below. What do you think of this? Would you do this deal? Would you not? Would you, if you're the Spurs, think this is a great trade? If you're the Warriors, you think this is a great trade? You think this is a fair trade for both sides? However you feel, good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in the comments section below.